You would think I wouldn't be nervous about doing this shit anymore. Well, guys, it's stop 3 here at Washington County Fairgrounds. Beautiful track designed by Bobcat Designs for round 3 of the Community Clash. I'm your host, Benjamin Butler. With me always is Austin Spence. And Austin, what we got going on here tonight?
Dude, so you said our good buddy Bobcat Designs designed this track. Did we upset him? Did we make him mad? Like, what in the world do we have here? This track is absolutely insane compared to the last 2 that we have in Community Clash.
Well, I'm sure the competitors were all talking about how the tracks were too easy and they were making a lot of changes and it wasn't very difficult for them. Well, our buddy Bobcat, like I said, he has turned up the wick on what competition should be like out here at the Community Clash.
I mean, this track is definitely a driver's course, and I know back in the day, you know, straight line racing where it is, I mean, this is almost like a Red Bull rhythm race. You start with a big roller in the beginning, big old pyramid of cars, another small roller, followed by a bigger roller, and then a takeoff car, mud pit, followed by 7 crush cars flying over to the finish. So this is literally anybody's game for this lineup here tonight, Community Clash.
And we got our first matchup rolling to the line right now. Whiskey Maneuver, Jonathan Robinson from Berryville, Virginia, running a beautiful Dodge and putting down our very fast time of an 18.06. Going to be taking on the War Pony out of Minnesota. This is a brand new truck to the circuit. It's going to be, I believe this is the first time we've seen him, Austin.
I mean, regardless, this is going to be a really good matchup. I know War Pony, the driver over there, has been over there with the LNN production team over there doing some also retro BeamNG monster truck stuff. So he's got quite a bit of experience under his belt. I'm excited to see how these guys are going to fare in competition here tonight. This is going to be a great race.
Well, these boys are up on the converter. We're just waiting for the staged and the green lights to hit. It's a really rough track. It'll be interesting to see how these drivers actually handle this pyramid and all these. And there's the green right there, and War Pony's off to a rough start already.
Whiskey Business flying over that pyramid of cars. A good bounce may or may not help you going over that first little roller, wheeling up over the middle roller there, and he's going to send it, fly it over the stack of crush cars coming down on the 7 stack, and Whiskey Business is going to be your winner here for our first race here at the Community Clash. We're going to let War Pony kind of hurry up and finish his run there. But, man, you're not joking, Ben. This is going to be a rough and wild track here tonight for our drivers.
Yeah, Whiskey Maneuver, Spence. Whiskey Maneuver.
Sorry.
An insanely fast run out here on this track. A lot of bumping and banging going around. I'm wondering what the rest of these guys are thinking after seeing that. Qualifying was really rough looking, too. A lot of spread between the times. I think our slowest time was a 30-second pass. Having all kinds of trouble with this track.
You know, kind of go back to what you were saying. It's like you're wondering what these drivers are thinking. The first thing I'm thinking of is where's the nearest chiropractor. This track is going to basically bang you and rough you around, and it is going to be a hard track for these drivers. I mean, you get through just one round of racing, that is a tribute in itself. And you got to go through 16 of the best here in a Community Clash, and well, we'll just see whose truck has got what it takes to hold up for this massive track here tonight.
Well, I will say that, I mean, a lot of these guys run in different types of racing. You got guys that do iRacing. You got guys that run the CRD and run Beam Monster leagues and things like that. But this is I believe this is the only Leafer league that we have. And there's a lot of different techniques that go into this. These are completely different animals than anything that you're used to seeing out here on any of the circuits. But at the same time, a lot of these guys are using wheels. Some of them are using a controller. We got one guy that uses a keyboard, which is crazy to me. And you got guys that like driving behind the truck in third person. You got guys that like driving in the cab. You got hanging out of the cab. There's all kinds of different things. Guys that got triple screens, single screens, VR. We got the whole thing covered here. And here's our next matchup coming to the line. We got Pasture Pounder, Joe Lobos from... I lost him on my screen here.
My goodness, you had
the
list with you when you brought it up here. What the heck, Ben?
I mean, there's so many papers. There's so many papers up here. He's from Hartselle, Alabama, and he's going to be taking on Chauncey Gibbs, one of our favorite drivers from the Retro Revolution series. In his Axeman truck, had to take the diesel out and put a Hemi in the thing just to run in this competition. But he's a strong competitor, as we've seen. They're on the staging light, and there's the green. Both of them are off at the exact same time.
Oh man, the reaction time was absolutely insane, and so far it's anybody's race. It looks like Pasture Pounder, a little bit of a rough start there.
We got some tires going down too.
Oh man, if Pasture Pounder can hold the lead here, coming up over the set of crush cars, Pasture Pounder by 2 truck lengths is going to knock out Axeman in round 1 of the Community Clash.
Both of these drivers lost tires and wheels on this one. It's early in the first round. They should be able to get that stuff put back together. But that was a rough ride for both of them. Both of them just trying to push it straight to the finish line. Neither one was going to give an inch out there.
It definitely seems like the equalizer for this track here is when you come over that first set of cars, the pyramid of cars there over that roller, the equalizer is going to be that little hump there because, as you saw, Pasture kind of took a little weird bounce and almost kind of went into the right lane there, almost knocking into Axeman. But, I mean, really, it's anybody who, as long as you get the truck back down on the ground and get the traction underneath those massive 66-inch tall tires, it's anyone's game. But you got to keep your foot to the floor and try and make sure you keep that truck planted in today's course.
We got our next matchup coming to the line right now. Violent Impact, our buddy Kyle Seasock out of Frackville, Pennsylvania, took a break this weekend from running the real thing, come out here to run the virtual thing with us. And he's going to be taking, if he ain't having trouble in the pits, going to be taking on the Dominator 2.
Well, actually, a little bit of fun fact about Kyle Seasock tonight. He's actually running at a disadvantage, and this is not BeamNG lore. This is real life lore. Kyle Seasock is actually running hurt tonight. He has actually got an injured arm, and he's actually trying to wheel this truck with one hand. So hopefully he's got enough talent still to where he'll be able to keep that thing planted and under control to where he can compete tonight. But Kyle Seasock, as a driver, he's hurting. And he's controlling this big bag purple Violent Impact with just one hand.
That's got to be a handful, no pun intended, because
I mean, what you did there.
Controlling the rear steering, the throttle, and everything, up and over the hill. Both of them are looking pretty good right now. Violent Impact's out in the lead, taking it kind of easy.
Slow is fast, slow and steady, and then get enough momentum over that final hill there. Dominator with issues over that last hill. Violent Impact slowly but surely gets to the finish line, and we'll be moving on to the next round. Dominator seems to be having all kinds of issues trying to find his way into the mud pit and over the final set of crush cars.
I think that's a sync issue. You need to get out of that backwoods internet, get some, some cables, some DSL or something, because the 56K ain't really working for him tonight.
I tell you, I couldn't tell you the last time I've ran dial-up internet, but I know I was at least under 10 years old, about 20 years ago.
Well, I don't know if that's what he's running or not, but it certainly ain't working for him.
It looks like we're waiting for the officials to get Dominator off the track before we get our next group up here.
It's going to be another interesting matchup here. Here comes Mrs. Seasock. Well, might as well be Alyssa Plasick from Frackville, Pennsylvania, driving brush control. And she's going to be taking on my arch nemesis from the Retro Revolution series. It's going to be Guard, as we like to call him, Chris Gossler. There we go. I'll be all right. I'm having a little bit of trouble here. There's a lot of stuff going on up here on my table. He's going to be driving the Mothman out of Lakeland, Florida.
I was going to say, the right side of your face is starting to droop a little bit. Then I think we might need to get the paramedics up here to check on you and make sure you're doing okay.
Yeah, there's a lot going on up here. That's for sure.
But I tell you what, my old Chris Gossler Mothman, he didn't have a good outing when I first saw him debut that Mothman truck. He says he's turned it up quite a bit. He's run a big block Ford under the hood of that Chevrolet body truck. He says he's got a lot to play with here with this massive track, and he's going to give these guys a run for their money. But, it's all big talk and everything until he gets out here and actually performs. Trucks are ready to go, and Chris Gossler's got a pretty demanding lead on brush control. Gets a little sideways over the pyramid.
Mothman loses a tire on our end of the thing. He's going to keep on pushing, though. I don't think that's a good idea. That might cause some damage up in the truck.
Brush control gets up on the bumper. Tire issues all the way around for all of our competitors, but Chris Gossler and Mothman is going to be moving on to the next round.
Yeah, Alyssa lost a tire on that one as well. I mean, there's a lot of issues going on with these tires. This is one of our beta builds for what the public might end up seeing on one of their trucks, and apparently we got a little bit of fixing left to do on it.
We really need to get a hold of somebody about getting some kind of Fix-A-Flat sponsorship, because, man, we are going to be going through a lot of rubber tonight.
A lot of rubber indeed, and a lot of bolts and rims and all kinds of stuff just to keep these trucks out here running on the track. And this is a rough place to go. A lot of crazy runs so far, Spence.
You ain't lying. Also, sorry, I got pizza in my mouth, so I had to run down the concession stands before I came on up here to the booth with you, so it kind of caught me at a bad time. Anyway, shout out to our amazing people that run the concessions on behalf of the Beam Motorsports event staff. But our next group, we got, I would say, our points leader at the moment. That's Eli in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle truck, lining up against Power Surge that's lining up in the nearest lane here.
That's going to be Wolf out of Pacific, California. A long way from home out here on the East Coast with this thing.
I tell you what, though, that Power Surge truck is a beautiful looking piece. I love the color scheme. I love the way that thing looks. But, man, I hope Wolf has got something for Eli there under the hood of that truck. Great. The light has gone green. And so far, it looks like Eli's got a pretty demanding lead, keeping it nice and low to the ground. Like I was saying earlier, you want to keep these trucks low and planted. Make sure you got enough, keep the momentum going. And Eli's going to soar across that final set of cars, and he's going to limp across the finish line. But, hey, good on Wolf. So far, it looks like Wolf is going to be our fast loser if we're able to bring him back in later on in competition.
Yeah, an excellent run. That was the closest run that we've had so far in the first round of racing here. Really good run by both of them. Nice and smooth, not pushing the trucks too hard. You don't want to get too much air in a situation like this. You can come down and break a whole lot of stuff if you're not careful with it. But Eli, moving on to the next round, pushed it just hard enough to take home a win on that one.
I'm starting to notice a bit of a trend here, Ben. It looks like that nearest lane closer to the haulers has been winning the most out of all the lanes here. So I wonder if there's a bit of an advantage over there on the track.
Well, according to Bobcat, these lanes are identical, so you really shouldn't have anything one way or the other, but I see what you're talking about. Everything has been won out of that far lane over there, at least how we're looking at it. Maybe some guys need to make some tweaks or adjustments for the second round. Somebody's going to get shoved over to this right lane. They might not like what they get.
I think you're right. I don't know if there's like something going on with how the cars are getting crushed down over there in the lane, in the far lane, to where it's kind of giving a bit of an advantage, or if there's something along the lines if it's just like something playing with their heads. Because if you look in the right lane, even though they are spaced evenly, they are outlined evenly, but seeing that tire wall, I guess you would say, might give a sense of security that, hey, we have, there's a wall, there's a barrier, while over in the right lane, you can kind of go either which way.
We're kind of short on trucks this weekend. My understanding, after this race, you're going to have to leave me for at least one and get down there to your truck and get out here on the track.
Yeah, so about that, I guess they got me lining up against that loudmouth Canadian. I guess I got to go shut him up round one, but I almost don't want to leave you up here by yourself, Ben. I don't know what I should do.
I think you should get down there and give him the whooping he deserves. All the trash talk that he's been doing, putting extra stuff on his truck, it's about time somebody puts him in his place.
I think you're absolutely right. I'll be sure to do that and do Beam Motorsports proud. But, it's always good running with Brad. He's came out and done a lot of wonderful things with his truck. It's a beautiful looking piece, but when the helmets go on and the trucks are lined up and the staging lights are lit, we're no longer friends. It's war.
It's
but it
time
looks
to
like
put on
this
the war
truck out
paint.
here is going to become exactly. It looks like this truck's going to get a buy run here until we can get somebody to come on out here and spawn in. Not sure what's going on. I'm sure we got the 2-minute timer on the clock, waiting for his competitor to get on out here.
Well, this is going to be Broad Street Bully sitting at the line. That's E.G. Lately, yeah, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Putting on a couple of good showings here in the last event, and this one, his qualifying times were really good on this one.
In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the play. Sorry. I don't want to get us demonetized. I'm just playing with the the group here. Anyway, but yeah, I know EG lately. I think it was the last event. He kind of fell asleep at the light there. I don't know if there was a lighting issue or what was going on with some of the other competitors, where it seemed like there was quite a delay when they would leave the light. So I didn't know if he just wasn't paying attention. But it looks like he's going to go ahead with his buy run here, and he's going to get an automatic invite to round 2.
He needs to take it really easy and slow. Coming down through here, you don't want to push the truck too hard. We've had plenty of time to qualify and practice for this event, so you should be pretty much comfortable with what's going on down there on the track. And EG makes a nice solid pass, not too fast, like I said, taking it easy, moving on to the next round.
All right, well, Ben, I think with that being said, I think it's time I need to run on down to the pits and get old Motor City Madman fired up and give her some hell.
All right, bud. Good luck out there. We'll give it a good call.
All right. Appreciate it, buddy.
Well, while Austin Spence goes down and gets suited up and ready to run in the Motor City Madman against Smash Squad, we have to say that we thank our sponsors, Vintage Trading Cards, OilX Motor Oil, and Gavril Trucks for sponsoring our events, as well as Bobcat Designs for the beautiful track that he's put on up here at Washington County Fairgrounds. There's a lot of things that we couldn't do without that guy, and we appreciate everything he's done. But now it's time to go to war, and these two right here have been battling on and off the track for the last month and a half. These two love to fight and argue about who's the best of the two, and Spence already got round 1 out of the way at Langley Motor Speedway. Absolutely destroyed the Canadian after he had the chance and opportunity to run all kinds of practice and qualifying times. He still couldn't catch up to Austin Spence and the Motor City Madman out of Detroit, Michigan. This should be a good race. It's always worth the price of admission when these two get locked in the same room together. I do like Bradley Shaw's truck over there, the Smash Squad truck. It is a beautiful paint job. And these two guys are up on the line and staged, and they're on the converters just waiting for the green to go off. And there's the green. Both of them out of the hole and up over exactly at the same time. Smash Squad has opened up a small lead. Austin Spence having a little bit of trouble with the roller there. It looks like Smash Squad's actually going to pull this off. Look at that. Look at him go. Smash Squad's going to move on to the next round. Good job, Bradley Shaw. We might have to see if we can talk to him. I can't wait to hear what goes on with this. With these guys arguing back and forth all season long. Man, Bradley, what a run. You actually got over on him.
I am shocked. During practicing and qualifying, I didn't have any confidence going into this event. But you know what? I just had to send it. Austin, good run, buddy. I love the rivalry that we have, but right now it's 1-1 with us, man.
It's 1-1, my dude. But I promise you, I don't know what happened. I almost worried there. I almost broke the brake pedal. I was sitting there on the converter when I saw the lights go yellow. I thought I jumped there. I almost was worried I got a red light. I didn't want to give you an easy win that much, but we had a good, even race all the way up until that. Like I said earlier, that's an equalizer, that little hump there. After that, it was game over. You had me all the way through.
Oh, man, like, I was sitting there. All of a sudden, I heard your truck just rev right up. I'm like, did he red light? Oh, no. Oh, no, because I wanted a good, straight-up race. Austin, dude, this has been so much fun, and, hey, we're going to have the rubber match soon, my friend.
Absolutely. It's 1-1 now. It's anybody's game, so I'll have to see if I can get you in the next one.
You know what the bad thing about that is that one actually mattered.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, so I'm winning now in our rivalry, so I'm winning.
Well, all right, bud. Well, the evening is not over yet. You got to get in there, and we'll be rooting for you up here, and hopefully you get Smash Squad a little bit further down in the bracket.
Definitely, man. Thank you, guys.
No problem, bud.
Oh, man. Come on. What happened there? It looked like you had a good start. That's about all I could say about it. You had a really good start. I mean, you were pretty much right there with him, and I think the roller got you hung up there a little bit.
That little roller, man, is what got it. As soon as I went over the cars, I'm like, oh, I might have this. And then I don't know what he's got in that truck, but, man, that thing is fast. I can't dog on him too much. We need to get some turning courses or maybe a figure 8 track out here. But I know I got more in the tank for Brad, but we'll have to see moving on later on in Community Clash. But it looks like Marky Jester is making his buy run in Bombshell.
Beautiful Ford and paint job on this one as well. It's a beautiful Bobcat design truck as well. Good run by Marky Jester, taking it nice and easy.
Well, it looks like that's going to be it for round number 1, Ben. So far, like I said, I'm pretty sure there's something going on with that left lane. Because, I mean, not trying to say that it has anything to do with me and my terrible driving skills, but I'm pretty sure a majority of our winners here tonight were in the left lane. So what do you think? Do you think it's superstition, or do you think there's actually something with that lane out there?
Well, I mean, we're going to have to see as it goes on, but I mean, you're right. We have not had a single win out of the right lane. It could be something, storyline developing here, something wrong with this right lane. Maybe the other drivers are going to recognize this and actually shy away from that right lane. The guys that are running faster times are going to take the left lane to try to jump out there and get ahead. But I think it's all about how you're driving. If your driving skills aren't up to par, and I take that back. We had Mothman move on in the right lane.
Well, to be fair, you know what? I'm not going to open that bag of worms because I don't want to go down to the pits after the show and get a knuckle sandwich from Kyle Seasock. So I'm going to keep my words to myself here.
That'd be a smart thing to do there. We're moving on to round 2 here. We got Whiskey Maneuver. Don't forget that, Spence. And Pasture Pounder about to lock horns. No pun intended. Well, yes, pun intended. A beautiful set of bull horns on the front of Pasture Pounder. A new addition with the .37 update to BeamNG.
Man, Speaking of the new .7 update, man, I'm waiting until we start getting some limos out here that we can crush. That would be really sweet. Well, it sounds like they're on the converter. They're ready to lock and load, man.
And there's the green right there. Both of them out of the hole and fast up over the hill. Coming up over the pyramid. Pasture Pounder getting a little bit crooked. Uh-oh.
This is anybody's race right now.
They are side by side right now. Oh, who's going to take that one, Spence? Oh, my God. Look, Whiskey Maneuver is up on 2 wheels trying to keep it down.
Whiskey Maneuver had that race here at the finish line by half a truck, but that was by far the closest race of the evening. Amazing job for both drivers there. Oh man, we should try and get our buddy Jonathan Robinson up here in the booth and see if we can get an interview with him at some point, because that was a wild ride on his part there.
Yeah, let me see if I can find him. Man, Jonathan, let me tell you, man, what kind of race was that? I'm sure your back's got to be killing you.
Well, I tried Kramer Cram on that pass, and I gotta say, looking at the ground was kind of fun. But I'd rather be looking straight ahead.
I was gonna say, man, from our perspective, you were going from dirt sky, and it was just a dead even race all the way to the final car stack. That was impressive driving from both y'all's part.
Yeah, I tried to keep my straight best I could. I saw him come over, or I heard him come over a little bit, I should say, but I was just holding on for dear life. And I gotta say, it was fun.
So we were talking up here. We're noticing a trend that near lane, that left lane, is definitely holding a lot more winners. Do you think that left lane is the lane to be in, or think it's just superstition?
I think it might be superstition, because I think Guard actually got a win out of the right lane. He got a little squirrely, but I think it's really how you race the track. I'm full out. You got people taking it tame. I think it's really a driver's track, so whoever's going to be able to tame it is going to win it.
Absolutely, man. And hey, good luck moving on to the next round. We're looking forward to see Whiskey Maneuver move on later on.
Hey, I'll be wheels up or wheels down, one of the two.
Perfect. We'd love to see it, man. Thank you so much. See, I said his truck right that time, Ben.
Yeah, there you go. Well, these two right here are no strangers to each other. It's going to be Chris Gosler and Kyle Seasock about to lock horns one more time, this time on the Community Clash.
Oh, man, I ain't going to lie. I think we're going to need to call the tow trucks after this race, Ben. I got my camera out and everything. This is going to be – somebody is going to go onto the trailer in a heap of parts after this race.
And I'm betting on the purple truck for that one because uh-oh. That is a red light. They're both doing it. Look at this.
Are they both getting red lights?
Both of them jumped. I don't know what was going on there.
Well, since it was a double DQ, do they both get a rerun at this, or are they both disqualified?
We're going to get some clarification from the track official and see what he thinks is a good thing to do with that.
I'm going to say this is definitely one of those races that everybody wants to see.
So I was talking with the track official. He says that they're going to re-rack them and let them try it again. A double DQ really wouldn't help anything, and it really wouldn't solve anything between these two.
I mean, honestly, they're both eager to just chomp at the bits at one another. So I know Chris Gosler was talking a lot of trash because in brush control, that's Kyle's lady that was driving that truck, and he was talking all kinds of smack talk in the chat about, that's just going to easy buy run, knocked her out in the first round. So I think Kyle's got something to prove, and he's ready to put Mothman back out on the trailer.
Yeah, these two guys, no short history on these guys. All across Retro Revolution, battles galore between these two, and now it's spilled over in the Community Clash Monster Truck Series. Now they're both on the converters again. We're going to see if we can actually get a winner out of this one. There's the green, and they're up over the hill. Both of them Chevy motors just singing. Up over the pyramid. Mothman's got slight control. Mothman flips it over forward.
Oh.
Hold on to it, Kyle. Oh.
She's still golden. She's still golden. She's still going.
Oh, it's hurt, though.
Still back in this race. Oh, my goodness. Violent impact by a tire.
Violent impact. That was the craziest race I think we've ever seen here. period. Jeez, that was, I don't even know what to say about it. Mothman is absolutely tore up in the pits back there, and Violent Impact had some damage too. It looked like a broken knuckle. There's parts laying all over the track. You weren't lying about somebody's going on the trailer and parts, and I think you're right about that.
Who do we talk to after that race? Oh my gosh, like that was just absolute wild and out of control on both ends. I mean, Chris Gosler was able to do a complete front flip, rolled it over, and managed to somehow still finish the race. The truck didn't shut off. I guess their safety crew was just in awe, and they just let him keep running. Let's just try and get them both up here. I want to talk to both of these drivers.
I'm gonna grab. I got a hold of Chris Gosler right here. Chris, man, that was a crazy run right there. I don't know what was going on. Both of y'all were all over the track. What was that about?
Oh my gosh, you two are absolute nutcases. What were you two thinking?
I wanted to win.
I
had to beat him.
I see that.
I saw a ground sky. I saw him at some point. It was an exciting race. Hope you guys enjoyed that.
That was absolutely fun to watch. And Chris, it seems like you're having some issues with your microphone there for whatever reason. It says muted. But, dude, you were doing – like, we're seeing Violent Impact getting absolutely wild and out of control. And next thing you know, we see Mothman doing a front flip. I mean, I was – in a sense joking that we're going to need, checkers or records. We're going to see, get your photos out. But, my goodness, you guys put on one heck of a race.
Hey, you see the hauler in the pit area. It says Mr. Highlight Reel. I was bringing the highlights definitely on this one.
And you got the best of both worlds on that one. You got the highlights and the win on that one, sir.
Oh, I won? Huh, that's even better news.
Yeah, you won. You were just crawling to the finish, and Mothman, after a front flip, he didn't shut off. He kept rolling, and we almost thought he was going to win it there at the end. We thought you almost gave him the race.
Well, the truck's a little hurt right now, so I got to make sure I can go fix that. So get me out of here so I can go fix my truck.
All right, bud.
All right, yeah, we'll get you guys both out of here, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to Chris again, because for some reason we're having some microphone issues with him. But good luck to you, Kyle.
I'm going to need after that one.
Man, what an absolute – how do you follow that? These two guys right here, Eli and E.G. Lately, they got a big, big thing to follow. That was an incredible race.
Don't worry about making the highlight reel. Just move on to the next round. These guys need to focus on putting on a nice, smooth race, getting to the finish line with their trucks absolutely one piece. But my God, what a showing from Chris Gosler and Kyle Seasock in that last race.
And these two guys have been around since the beginning, basically, of the Leafer monster truck build. So those guys are well versed in the Leafer truck, and they put on a clinic with it. They showed you exactly what you should do when you get into them kind of situations. And there's a green for these two right here up over the hill, side by side, getting into the pyramid. A lot of air from both. Eli pushes it hard, and EG is over.
Oh, Broad Street Bully took a bad bounce to the front end, went nose first in that roller, and the roller put him on his lid and curdled the truck. Bad break for EG Lately.
Eli took the win on that one. It was really close right up to that point. They both were wheels up, and EG kind of brake checked it to try to slow it down for the hill, and it popped the front end up, whereas Eli just went ahead and took advantage of the front tires being up and pushed it over that hill. He was up on his nose too for that piece of the run, but man, that was a crazy run right there too. Just the way the cookie crumbles on that one, I suppose.
You ain't joking, Ben. And honestly, I feel terrible for our track crew officials out there today. They got their work cut out for them tonight, just trying to get all these parts and all these trucks flipped back over. I feel bad for our competitors that are breaking out early, but you know what? I'm just glad everyone's having fun. This series has just been an absolute blast, and we're only a third of the way through it, and this is just going to be – I cannot wait for future events. I can't wait to see who our winner is going to be tonight. This series has just been so much fun.
Yeah, and it's some incredible racing by our community, and we just hope that our community continues to grow. We have a lot of guys lined up for the very last race of the season. All you have to do is come in and make a qualifying pass, and you get your ticket punched to that event. I'm going to have to get down there and do that at some point because I want to compete in that event. The first 4-wide monster truck race that I know of, I believe ever, will be taking place at the end of our season.
You're an absolute madman for doing that. I mean, honestly, it's going to be so much fun to do that. But I believe it's going to be an absolute monster of a time. And honestly, speaking of monsters, we got our next, I think this is our final group for round 2, and it's Marquis Jester and Bombshell lining up against the guy that took me out of round 1. That is Bradshaw and Crash Squad, whichever. The
Smash
Canadian.
Squad.
Yeah.
Smash Squad from Grand Prairie,
Smash Squad.
Alberta, Canada. He's one of our furthest competitors away from the rest of us. He's way up in the wilds of Canada. So, long trip out here to the East Coast to do some running. And there's the green right there, both of them up over the hill. Bombshell keeping it down towards the ground and keeping the truck a lot more level and smooth. Bradshaw gets a tire going down, but Bombshell's out in the lead.
Bombshell's out in the lead, and yeah, it looks like that right front tire really put a damper on Smash Squad. It's unfortunate, but, you know, kind of going back to what I was saying earlier, slow is fast, and, you know, slow and steady is kind of what's going to be what ends up winning the race. Smash Squad is able to finish the pass there, but tough break for Bradshaw and Smash Squad, breaking out in the second round here at Washington County Fairgrounds.
Absolutely crazy. Well, we're down to the final 4 here.
Oh my gosh! So who's our final 4, Ben? What is our final 4 looking like?
So we're going to have guys we've seen all year long up at the front of the pack. We're going to have Whiskey Maneuver, Jonathan Robinson, Violent Impact, Kyle Seasock, Eli with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle truck, and Marquis Jester with Bombshell. That's our final 4.
I you know what? Not gonna lie, I wasn't able to compete in the very second event, but I think Kyle has got something to prove since he got to the finals and was taken out by Appalachian Dream at the second event. I think Kyle's got what it takes with Violent Impact to try and go all the way to the finals and win this thing. But I tell you that, you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle and Bombshell and Whiskey Maneuver, everyone has had some really fast and, you know, very smooth passes here. It could be anybody's game, but I think I'm going to root for the dark horse in all this. I'm going to root for Kyle Seasock to try and win this thing.
Well, I'm liking Bombshell. His runs have been extremely smooth. He did have a bye run in his first one, so we don't really have a whole bunch of comparison to come through. Let's see how he handles the rest of the track when one of his competitors can stay with him. But I'm liking Bombshell on this one. Jonathan Robinson, who's sitting at the line right now getting ready for the semifinals, he's been running extremely well tonight. He was running extremely well at Clearbrook. So, I mean, it could be really anybody's race. Kyle Seasock, he's not one to shy away from putting the hammer down. So either it's going to be checkers or records right here for him. And I think you're right. He has something definitely to prove.
You're absolutely right. And the thing is about Jonathan Robinson, this guy has been around the block a lot when it comes to the world of virtual monster truck racing. He has been, I think, in about any league you could think of, and now he's obviously making his debut here with all the old school Leaper mods. So he knows his way around, you know, running a virtual monster truck. But when it comes to the Leaper stuff, I mean, he's fast, he's smooth, but when you throw a curveball like these type of tracks at him, it's literally a driver's course. You got to think on the spot. You know, you got the cars that are, you know, getting crushed down in different ways, shape, or form. So hopefully that experience will be able to help him, because he's lining up against Kyle Seasock, who knows a thing or two about hitting cars. And here they go. Green is going. They are dead even off the line.
Coming up to the pyramid, Seasock pulling a wheelie up over the pyramid. Both of them having a good run at each other right here. I don't think Seasock's got enough for him right there. I think you cursed him. Whiskey Maneuver's going to move on to the finals.
You can't put that all on me. I mean, that was... I was rooting for Kyle, but it definitely seemed like that, you know, one of those jumps definitely, unfortunately, you know, kind of messed him up there a little bit. I think I had to do that roller, but because my approach to this when I was practicing and we went into qualifying was when you go over that pyramid, you try to have a nice bump to where you can maybe have enough momentum and inertia to where you can kind of go over that that middle hump, to where you can kind of keep a little bit more momentum as you're approaching the bigger middle jump there, downside it, get a lot of momentum into the final set of cars. But unfortunately, that thing has been the equalizer for this entire event, to where it is either going to make or break your run. And then when Kyle approached that big middle jump, it threw his truck sideways. It kind of went over the flags, and it was all downhill from there.
Yeah, that last big roller is what got him in trouble. He was up on the back wheels, and he just couldn't get the front end to settle down. That's one of the keys to getting up over these large rollers as fast as you can, keeping the front end down instead of flying right up over it, because the back side of this thing is extremely steep. The front one right here at the starting line and the one that's down toward the end of the track, they're identical. So when you hit up on that thing and you're not going, if you're going too fast, it'll pitch you way up in the air, and that ain't exactly what you're wanting.
Exactly. And let me tell you, man, this Eli in this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle truck, this thing is bad fast. It has been fast all season long so far, but I heard in the pits, Marky Jesters, he's got something special for him lining up in this race here. And it sounds like the trucks are both lined up. They're on the converter. They're waiting for the green light.
And there it is. They're up over the hill as fast as can be. Marky Jester got a slight lead going into the pyramid, and he's going to maintain it, but Eli getting up over the... Oh, we got some issues over here. Tires going down. Eli fell off the hump. Bombshell's going to move on to the finals, I believe, for right now, but he's got a tire down. He might be able to get that fixed back up if we give him some time, between the rounds. But Eli went slipping off the side of the thing with a flat tire, and just his run is over for the night. He is on his side, on the side of the track.
That run actually would have resulted in a double disqualification. So we talked in the drivers' meeting, those flags, you want to make sure you keep your truck in between those flags, and both trucks went outside those flags that were lined up on that ramp there. So it basically canceled out the penalty. Unfortunately for Eli, he went over on his lid, allowing Marky Jester and Bombshell to finish the run and get the win to move on to the final round.
And we just got confirmation from our track official. Bombshell is moving on to the finals, so it is confirmed. He's going to be taking on Whiskey Maneuver. These two come from totally different types of racing and backgrounds. Marky Jester is more of a CRD type monster truck racer. Been doing a lot of he likes doing some crazy things with the leafer. And Jonathan Robinson there, he's more of a focused racer. He has had some issues in the past going into the wall in places and creating building damage and hurting spectators, but I think he might have put his past behind him, because he's putting on a hell of a show out here.
Listen, there's a reason why we have, a good half a football field's length away from the racetrack, and it has a lot to do with Jonathan Robinson out here on the track and making sure that all of our spectators here at the Community Clash presented by Beam Motorsports is safe, sound, and family-friendly. Speaking of family-friendly, Ben, I was tuning into the last event, and I made sure that I brought myself up a swear jar in case your other co-host decides to come up here and blurt some profanities. This is a family-friendly atmosphere, and I think your old buddy Byrne needs to remember that we are family and kid friendly oriented over here. Just saying.
How much money's in that jar?
I could only afford a penny.
Oh, okay, so it's a penny a swear, I think. Well, let me give you some money. I'll cover it till Tuesday.
No. We'll have to just keep an eye on that. It's going to afford our I guess crush cars for the next season. But this is our final round in the near lane. This is Marky Jester and Bombshell, and in the far lane, it is Jonathan Robinson in Whiskey Maneuver. Ben, are you ready for the finals here?
Absolutely. I'm ready to get this thing popping off right here. Waiting on them to stage. They're on the converters. There's the stage lights. And there's the green. Whiskey Maneuver moves first and is up over the hump. Gets into the pyramid first.
A little bit of a weird bounce for Whiskey Maneuver. Can he get it back under control?
Oh, no!
Oh, no. Tough break for Jonathan Robinson. It is all Bombshell and Marky Jester. Your winner tonight here at the Community Clash is Marky Jester and the Bombshell. Let's see if we can get him to drive over in front of the stands here. And we're going to get Marky Jester up here in the commentary booth and talk to him. We're also going to be sure to get our buddy Jonathan Robinson to climb on out of that truck and see what went on, what happened. Tough break for Jonathan Robinson in Whiskey Maneuver. He had that thing dialed in bad fast. That thing was ready to rock and roll. But one bad maneuver over that middle hump, and that is all she wrote. for Whiskey Maneuver.
Yeah, an excellent run from Marky Jester. A beautiful bombshell. Let's see if we can get him down here in the chat with us. Marky, what an excellent run tonight for you, my friend.
Thank you, yes. I knew I had a good truck, I just had trouble getting it together before. That's all.
Yeah, man, that track looked like it was throwing everybody every which way, but you had that thing absolutely dialed in from the get-go. So congratulations on your win here tonight.
It was not easy. Eli and the TMNT and Prawn, they both had really good fast trucks too. They just got the wrong end of the stick.
You're absolutely right. And you know what? You disproved my superstition. I was saying all night long that left lane was the lane you had to be in, and it turns out in the last couple of rounds, the right lane was the one where you needed to be in. So, you know, again, congratulations on your win. But we just got your competitor up here in the booth, Jonathan Robinson and Whiskey Maneuver. Man, what happened, my guy?
I did say I was going to finish wheels up or wheels down. So we did one or the other.
You absolutely did, man. And again, you guys both were putting on a killer race. It was heads up the entire time. Unfortunately, it resulted in a bad roller for your end. But man, Jonathan Robinson, we understand that you got an awesome truck. You know, Marky Jester over here was talking about how fast your truck is, along with Eli's TMNT. So we got about another bye week before we go into event number 4. You got anything you want to say to either Marky or the rest of the competitors here with Community Clash of what you might have in store for them?
Same thing as this week. Putting the foot to the floor, wheels up, wheels down.
Heck yeah, man. That's what we like to hear. Well, we'll let you get back to the pits and try to get that thing fixed. Marky, is there anything else you want to say to the people that are watching at home? What they want to, maybe some last words that you want to say to your competitors before they have to line up against you again?
Yeah. Sleep with one eye open.
Oh.
I'm coming for you.
Sharp words from Marky Jester and the bombshell Ford.
Leave it to a truck called Bombshell that decides to put a target on his back.
Absolutely crazy racing here tonight, Spence. I mean, we had our race of the year, and I told you Bombshell was due for it. It looked like he was the smoothest truck out there all night long, and sure enough, he proved it at the end, took home the win.
Hey, I'm proud of all of our competitors that came out here and put on their passes. They all did an amazing job. You know, I'm still blown away by that race with our good buddies Kyle Seesock and Chris Gossler, and you know what an insane race that turned out to be. But man, we're only in event number 3. We're just getting started with the Community Clash series. I'm excited to see where this is going to take us. I'm excited to see what other highlights, what insanely crazy tracks we're going to be coming out with next. But man, Ben, how, you want to close this out? You got any last words?
Well, I have seen the next track. So our next venue that we're going to is a fictional venue. It doesn't exist in real life, but it's called the Pinewood Hills Speedway. And it's going to be a really interesting track out there. That's to say the least. We got humps. It's almost Chicago style in its creation. Another one of Bobcat Design's beautiful tracks put together. Everything on it about it is custom. So I'm looking forward to that. We have some crazy tracks coming up. We're going to the Figure 8, the OilX Speedway. That's another fictional track made specifically for BeamNG. And Pontiac Silverdome. We got the Houston Astrodome is one of them we're going to. So we have a lot of different variations about to come everybody's way.
And hey, just because you guys saw all the competitors that came out here and threw it down with the Community Clash doesn't mean this is our only lineup. If you think you got what it takes, be sure to join the Beam Motorsports Discord and try to get in when we qualify. Because just because these guys came out and competed here tonight, you can too. But if you want to be the best, you got to come out and beat the rest.
Absolutely. Well, for my good buddy Austin Spence over there, I'm Benjamin Butler, and we'll catch you guys next time on the Community Clash.